Listen close, we rise up from the ashes, digging for the truth, breaking old habits. We marching with the nesters, they laid the foundation, passed down revelations. Our motivation in a world of facades, we peeling back the layers. Truth is the weapon that cuts through all the fakers. Phonets in our chest, reborn from deception. Eyes wide open, no room for misdirection. Every step we take, we honor the connection between past and present, forging our resurrection. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. We cultivate vision, planting seeds of awareness, challenge the narrative, break out of the harness, digging deep for knowledge, unearthing the hidden. Our minds are the soil where the future is written, no longer confined by the scripts they prescribe. We write our own story, let the real one subscribe. One voice becomes many, together we rally. Freedom's not a concept, it's a move and a tally. Case, we break the cage. Thought by thought, we shift the stage. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. Rise up, speak out, watch the new world breathe.
Well, happy Sunday afternoon, everyone. I know this is a shocking surprise. I sure hope that every single one of you has had an amazing weekend. I know for some of you, it is still going on, and I do realize this will probably be a smaller, intimate live, but I'm so glad to see all of you here. It has been a crazy busy weekend for me personally, and I want to start this stream off with a speed round, and then I'll welcome every single one of you in the nest. I am so excited for this week. Not only Thanksgiving, on Tuesday I'll be live with Birdie at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to be talking about the IDAHO4, just like the good old days. And let's do this. Let's do it. Let's get this speed round going today. This is going to be super quick, 1 or 2 word answers, and here we go. Morning or night? Morning or night is the question. Answer below. Truth or mystery? Truth or mystery? Go. Next one. Evidence or intuition? Go. This one's good. Coffee or energy drink? Coffee or energy drink? Facts or feelings? Facts or feelings? Drop it below. Last one. Stay quiet or speak up? Stay quiet or speak up? That was a pretty good one. I'll give you one more just because it's Sunday and I love y'all. Logic or vibes? Logic or vibes? Whoop, whoop. I see a lot more people coming in. Hit that thumbs up button, and we're going to review these answers and kind of get to know one another. All right, let's see what we got here. We got some OGs in the house. We've got a lot of, hey, Terry, good to see you again. No talkie before coffee. Les, wonderful, beautiful Les in the house. I hope you are feeling better, sweetheart. Kim, welcome in. Rebecca, welcome back. Brenda, welcome in. Amanda, good to see you. I hope that you are doing amazing. Chantel, welcome in. I am live. We're going to be dropping some truth bombs. Awesome treat as I'm watching football. Now, we are college ball fans. We watched football yesterday. We watched Boise State beat the crap out of the, God, who were they playing? Can't even remember now. 40 something to 21. It was a really good game. And if they stay on track, they're going to be going to the Hawaii Bowl. I think it's the Hawaii Bowl, but I can't remember the bowl, but they will be in Hawaii. And next year they will become part of the what is it? APAC? Is it APAC? I can't remember. My husband's the college ball fan. He used to play football in high school. Should have went to college on a scholarship, but unfortunately a lot of people know that his mom was the recipient, unfortunately, of a drunk driver. She was hit pretty hard, pretty bad. 32 years in home care, quadriplegic, and he took care of her a lot. Didn't go to college, stayed and worked. So, welcome in. Love me some college ball. Hey, all. Lulu Bell, welcome in. Good to see you back. Heidi, welcome in. Jackie, welcome in. Donna Rosa, Sharon, Brenda. Let's see some of these answers. I love you guys welcoming each other in. Nona, Robin, whoop whoop in the house. All right, let's see. We've got a couple of answers. If I missed anyone, I apologize. Oh, Amanda, don't apologize. Come on. Finally, night. Okay. So, Rebecca, whatever your answer is, you prefer night, Les night, Terry night, Dina night. A lot of nights in the house. I do prefer nighttime because after the daytime, I am so exhausting listening to other people talk all day long in my ear. And if you know, you know. I just can't wait to hit my bed and go to sleep. I appreciate a good truth. I love it. Some like mystery. I'm a totally I'm 50-50 on the evidence and intuition. I'm 50-50 because evidence will tell you somewhat of a story, but you have to use your intuition to get to the truth. That's kind of me, 50-50. Coffee or energy drink, I would probably say 50-50. If I don't have to have either one, water. Boring cucumber water. Good morning, coffee. Evidence led by tuition. Wonderful answer. Top. You broke the internet. Evidence led by intuition. Yeah, I'm a tea girl too. I like some good chamomile tea or some green tea, and I do decaf, but I also make it cold. So coffee, facts, evidence, facts, feeling. Okay. The question I asked is facts or feeling. I think for me, it's 50-50. You got to know kind of what you're going into. Facts. Speak up definitely is me. Speak up. Speak up kind of got me in trouble. You know what? Throw me under the bus. Speaking up, there's nothing wrong with it. Logic is better too. Yep, logic. Speak up, good vibes, and logic. I say probably 50-50. So I'm on the fence with most of these today. Good afternoon, Okie dokie, Lisa. Welcome in. Logic. Logic led by vibes. Yeah, I would probably say that too. Speak it loud, vibes. What got me in trouble? Oh my gosh. Someone is hot after me to report my videos, y'all. When I talk on a certain subject, holy freaking moly, I speak and it backfires on me. Just make sure you speak truth and ask questions. I am been on coffee like mad since this happened. Oh, I believe you. My mouth. Sometimes my mouth without a filter, but I've had to learn how to master that over the last few decades. But let me just say this. if you haven't seen yet, I will give you a glimpse of why my butt is on fire. I will tell you, I shared a post on I've shared this before. I don't know why it's just getting a lot of um, flack, but I shared this post before and y'all are just like making me chuckle because maybe they weren't paying so much attention to me before, but now they are, unfortunately. And let me just give you a little preview of it and then we'll get the show on the road because I've got a topic that I want to share with you. I'll probably do that first before I get into the IDAHO4 because, primarily we can definitely talk about it. If a video backfires, it's likely hitting them on the truth. I would say so. I would probably say so. So, what post got you into it, got me into it? Right here, this post. And I'll preview with this and we'll get into this rest of it. So, let me share this. Here is the video. Well, it's not the video, actually. This is a post that I put up there. Showalter family public article. This one and this one seems to be catching a lot of heat. This guy is Connor Chestnut, and everybody keeps asking me. And it is wild that certain parents are watching. It is wild that they even comment to let me know they're watching me. And so anything I do share is factual, truth, or speculation and asking questions. So that is Connor Chestnut. Who is Connor Chestnut? If you looked at the state's evidence, Connor, my friend, lives in Boise. He knows a couple of these people. And don't ask me how, but they did get his DNA on lab item 6, folks. Yes, they did. They got his DNA right there. Lab item 6. What was the outcome of lab item 6? You know what? I didn't even look. I could look. I'll definitely look and I'll share that with you unless somebody else looks first. But it was enough information to go and get his DNA. So like I've always said, DNA does not lie. People lie. Christmas is canceled. Santa has returned to campus and he's fed up with no likey of the live. Amanda, I love you. Let's go. I'll go. Hold on. Let me look at the forensic documents. And apologize in advance if I'm all over the place today. Like I said, I have my coffee. I've got some things that I promised my husband I would do. And obviously, I'll probably be on for an hour or an hour and a half. So grab your coffee, grab whatever you need to do, your energy drink, your water. Grab it and let's get into it. So the extraction from item 6, it says DNA extraction from item 6, item 7. I don't know. Some of these aren't listed. It's kind of kludgy, some type of, I want to say, decoding needs to be done, if that's the word that you want to say. But item 6, lab item 6, let me see if I can find anything. Lab item 6 is an oral sample from Chestnut, and that evidence was on the 12th of December. Now, the key points that you want to take a look at simply are the dates. And anything before the 5th, well, I want to say maybe the 23rd through the 4th, is the real story. Anything after the 5th is the, in my humble opinion, Brian Kohberger, the recruited fall guy, patsy. That's my opinion, speculation. I've got my little disclaimer up there. So it said that a male DNA profile was developed from item 6. And then it says nothing. Item 7 is the DNA extract from 6. So then I need to go look for item 7, which is kind of like a little mystery here. But I'm going to stay with item 6 real quick and see if it mentions it anywhere else in these forensic documents. Now, remember, I did put in the FOIA 21 days before this came out. I asked for all the forensic documents, everything that would be known to man, and they answered me back and told me this is exactly what they released. Kind of interesting, folks. So unless we the people ask for it, we're not going to see anything. So we all need to keep asking for this. So then it goes to item 7, description changed. So from DNA extracts to item 6, DNA extract from item 6. The following was documents are printed as part of the discovery packet. So, case jacket, chain of custody, Jennifer Ayers, Eric Seat, Haley Youngland, corresponding report, other type discovery. And this was done at the request, I believe, of Ann Taylor on 5/10/2023. Okay, so this was done on the 13th. I wonder what was up on the 13th. So let me look and see if there's any more item 6 referenced. Let's see if this will give me something else. And we're going to get into the rumors. That's what this is titled. Rumors in the IDAHO4. So hold on to that one. I see there's 13. That's not item 6. Lots of interesting fingerprints too. Okay, I don't see anything else with item 6. So it says it was relabeled item 7. We know that 3 and 4, item 7. I think some of these are marked wrong, by the way. I've noticed that. So let me go back to this description. It says lab item 6. And there is no other lab item 6 listed here. So this is one of those dead ends. Lab item 6. Item 6 says fingerprint lifts from sliding glass door. See lab item 55. That's probably a dead end. Autopsy. MPD item 6. MPD item 7. It's probably one of those dead ends. Nothing cross references with that. I could look at lab item 7 was a fingerprint lift and a fingerprint lift. 6 and 7. Let me highlight those. Those are the ones I've looked at already. Here it is. DNA profile obtained from 7.1 is consistent with obtained from the reference sample of Ethan Chapin. How is that possible? The DNA profile obtained from 7 is consistent with that obtained from the known reference sample of Ethan Chapin. So does that DNA match Ethan's fingernails? What? Wait a minute. Does that DNA under Ethan's fingernails match Connor Chestnut? Is that what that means? I'm asking a question, folks. I'm not telling you. It says the DNA profile obtained from item 7 is consistent with that obtained from a known reference sample of Ethan Chapin. Is that what it... Holy shit. If that's... Holy moly. The DNA obtained... Holy shit. Item 7. 7.1. Let me go back and see if there's any other reference for 7.1. Lab item 7. Lab item 7. I didn't know I was going to be getting into this. Yes. Left nail clipping from Ethan Chapin. Was that his DNA underneath there? Holy shit. Lab item 7. Wow. Wow. Okay. So even if that is, believe me, we need somebody to be able to interpretate this better. I'm no professional. I'm just cross-referencing with what the state gave us here and what the MPD gave us and what the forensic data actually shows. Because in some of these documents, folks, in some of these documents, there is information like, I caught something really crazy yesterday. Oh, TikTok data for Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk. I'm sure they were going to see if it matched with their, what they were saying. Jack DeCoeur phone records. There was something else I saw on here that caught my eye the other day. Oh, the prints from Emily, Hunter, John, and Connor Chestnut. That's what started this whole inquiry as to why I was sharing this. So these prints were all taken, and he had his DNA swabbed. That's what it was. And so I said, where are the missing forensic documents, MPD documents? And am I the only one asking this? So that was Connor, that was John, that was Hunter, and that was Emily. And it came directly off this state's exhibit, MPD 901, of all these people, along with Madison, Xana, Ethan, and Kaylee. And that came from MPD 901. I got to go all the way up because it does say exemplars. So they took all their DNA and possible prints to see if they could match it to other DNA under their nails. Okay, so there is a lot of evidence that never got followed up. There is no conclusion. It says item 6 had been changed to item 7, and it refers to fingernail clipping of Ethan. And it actually says the DNA swab of Connor Chestnut. So is that a conclusive answer that his DNA was under there? No, that's not what it means. I don't know what it means. And that's why we're here to dispel some of these rumors, even the rumors that were started in the beginning. So one of the rumors that we wanted to clear up, that I wanted to clear up, is I am in no way looking for the actual unaliver. I am looking at the forensic data. I am looking at the court documents. I am looking at what exactly Ann Taylor was looking at that nobody was listening to. And when I say that, trust me, it feels like no one was listening to Ann Taylor. It feels like the media, everyone in, God knows who was listening to the mainstream news, that he was, Brian Kohberger was the loner, the incel, the stalker, the X, Y, and Z. No, I think he was the recruited patsy fall guy, in my humble opinion. And, I don't say that lightly. It just feels like that is what it is. And I really do go on my intuition. I'm not looking, for his alibi. Clearly, he didn't have a great enough one. And there was a reason they didn't want to go to trial, even though post-conference they said he had no knowledge, no stalking, no relationship, no connection. They couldn't even put him in the house because they know it was not him. In my humble opinion, of course. So this is what I'm going to do real quick. Let me see if I can find that video. All right. Let's watch this video. Keep in mind, watch his movements. This is not my video. It is TikTok, and I can't remember the creator. I will tag her when I go back and look. But here is the video I want you to see. This was 3 years ago today.
The brutal murders of Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin have shaken our close-knit community to the core and brought fear and devastating pain to our Vandal family. We are sad and we are angry. We're struggling to make any sense of it. To the families and friends of these 4 young people, I want to extend my deepest condolences. Nothing I can say will make this better, but please know that we stand with you in wanting whoever is responsible captured and brought to justice. In recent days, dozens of law enforcement professionals, from patrol officers to crime scene investigators, have been added to bolster the work of the Moscow Police Department. Even with these extra resources, it is unclear how long this investigation will take. That is deeply frustrating for all of us who are waiting for this criminal to be arrested. We want to take a moment to outline all that we are doing to provide for the safety of our campus, provide access to...
Now, how did he know that it sounded like one guy, one criminal? Did they already know on the 23rd how this was going to go down?
Counseling and mental health resources, and provide guidance on how to best re-engage after the holiday. We also want to share how we can come together and mourn, remember, and support our fellow vandals. Student and employee safety remains our top priority. We immediately ramped up campus security and requested extra resources, and we will continue to take every step we can to provide for the safety of our people. This heightened presence of law enforcement will continue for the foreseeable future. We're not accustomed to this kind of violence in our town. To the Idaho State Police for increasing their visibility on our campus and in our community. Our Safe Walk program remains active 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and additional safety protocols are in place in our residence halls. If you have any questions about additional campus security, please contact the Dean of Students, Blaine Eccles. This is a shocking tragedy, and the range of emotions can be complex and varied. Personally, my emotions have ranged from inconsolable sadness related to the loss of our students and what that loss means to their families, to anger directed at the perpetrator of this vicious attack. Whatever you are experiencing, it is appropriate. It will look and feel different for everyone, and that is okay. Students, counseling services remain available at the Counseling and Testing Center. After Thanksgiving, drop-in counseling will resume at the iSub. I encourage you to reach out to these caregivers. Employees, you have the added challenge of supporting our students while also dealing with your own emotions, concerns, and fears. This is more than anyone should be asked to do. Thank you for your dedication to our students. Knowing this takes a toll, I encourage you to use the counseling resources available through our benefits. To our larger Vandal family and community, the outpouring of support, kind gestures, you make me so proud to be part of such a caring and potent force for good. We ask each of you to continue to keep these 4 families in your thoughts. This is a time to stand together and lead with care. We have heard from students with varied needs. Some are not comfortable being back in Moscow until a suspect is in custody. Others are asking for in-person classes and the structure that life on campus brings. To meet the needs of all of our students, we have asked our faculty to work with their classes to allow each student to complete the semester either in person or remotely. This may take the form of course delivery on Zoom.
Now remember,
lectures.
this is not my video. This was another video someone sent me just because of the topic at hand. And there was some interesting things that they said in regards to Jack Showalter and some other things about the video. Like, how did they know on the 23rd of 2022 that it was one individual? And I started looking at the forensic documents, all dated November 13th when they found the bodies up until the 23rd. And then I pushed it out to December 4th. And anything in between the 13th and the 4th of December, they were on the right track, folks. They were on the right track, in my humble opinion. Now, does that mean that Showalter is guilty of committing these crimes? I don't think so, in my humble opinion, although I know a lot of people are like, this guy did it. He has the capability to do this. There were so many rumors about this. But what if I told you to look at a different lens and a different perspective about Jack Showalter and some of these other frats that may have been around in the area? Okay, take a deep breath And I want you to clear your mind. Remember the exercise that we did before. And the only reason that I am able to go this route is because what if I told you that there may have been a different story, a different perception, a different outcome? Now, I think all these frats may have knowledge of what happened. I do believe that they may have witnessed what happened. Do we know 100% what happened? No, we don't. We can only look at the rumors and figure either it's true or it's false. But what if I said, in my humble opinion, what if I said the DNA under, these circumstances could be different from a different perspective? I started looking at this lens and I can see that maybe this is a different perspective. Okay. Now, when I say that, none of these frats had any documentation of any types of injuries. Okay. You see Hunter on camera, they tell him to let me see your hands, take a picture, get his ID. They look at everybody's hands. They're looking for anyone who got cut. Now, we do know that Jack Showalter, we do know that Jack Showalter had a potential cut because he was bleeding in his own apartment in his own shower curtain. That we know for a fact. So, and that is per the forensics. There's other people that are never mentioned in any of the statements from the police department or forensics or anything else, which gives us, the people, the ability to think that maybe it was the frats. But what if, and just if, these people were attacked by non-frats and the frats tried to help these victims? Would that be a more believable story why John Showalter had cuts on himself, perhaps, that they didn't mention in the reports? Because they were tailing somebody into St. Luke's. They were tailing these individuals in 3 different cars, 2 different ISPs, a couple of other detectives. Okay. Is that a possibility? And you have to look at all possibilities when you have to question the unthinkable. So when I say question the unthinkable, is it even possible to think that Jack Showalter maybe helped fight off some of these perpetrators? Did he come to their defense and help them? Or was he truly this individual who was so awful that everyone said he was, and that perhaps he helped fight these people off? It could be a possibility. Is it more likely that that's what happened? I mean, that's for you to decide. Let's listen to the rest of what Scott Green says.
Or other methods which were well established during COVID. Students, your instructors will communicate directly with you. Any concern regarding lack of accommodation should be directed to our Dean of Students office. We will gather solidarity Wednesday, November 30, in a vigil on the Moscow campus that will also be streamed online. It is our hope that we can find comfort from each other while expressing our thoughts and prayers for the families of Ethan, Zaina, Kaylee, and Madison. If you wish them during this difficult time, links can be found on the In Remembrance page on our website. If I know one thing about the Vandal family, it is that we are resilient, strong, and deeply connected. Together we will find the path forward, bringing with us the memories of 4 Vandals whose time here was much too short. Madison, Kaylee, Zaina, and Ethan will forever.
All right. So that is what Scott Green was saying 3 years ago today. So Exactly. And this is why I'm telling you, is it possible if this happened? The Fratis defenders theory would fit why their blood was found in some places. Absolutely in some places, but it wouldn't explain the way they found the bodies, where they found the bodies, etc. Right? Yeah, I caught that, Les. Zana instead of Xana. And I feel, in my humble opinion, that after seeing a lot of the things that we have seen, that, the details have been really deeply embedded in some of these forensic documents. But here's the deal. At the end of the day, you have to look at everything from a standpoint of, is this more likely or less likely X, Y, and Z? Okay. Personally, I think Show was told by DM or BF to keep the girls away until it was finished. And if in fact, if Xana and Ethan were the exact targets, then I've always said, in my humble opinion, my original theory is that Xana and Ethan were the ones that you see on the grub truck. That video that I put up in May of this year, put it up again. And if you look at that video, it is a side-by-side. Let me pull it up so you guys can see it. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. It is a side-by-side of Linda Lane. And hold on. Let's look at it. Now, at 1:56 on the Linda Lane footage, you're going to see, hold on, let me see if I can make it bigger. You're going to hear, you're going to have to turn up your video all the way, your audio all the way. If you have headphones, I apologize. So here I go. Now, keep in mind, everyone is huddled around the grub truck. The girls have left and en route. They are en route to the 1122 per Eric Gower and his statement he gave police. And Joe Woodall is up in the second quadrant of the quad right here, screens. And on the bottom is the 1330 Linda Lane parking lot. So you just heard the screams. And then I'm going to play this a little faster, and only to get through this very quickly, I'm going to play it at 175. The screams do continue in the background. And remember, Joe is talking to the stream on the grub truck stream via Twitch. And keep in mind, I'm going to put those comments on. Keep in mind that some of the things he's talking about don't make sense to us because I think he's seeing something else. And so he talks about some random crazy stuff like the socks and all kinds of clothes, all kinds of stuff. Now that's when he says they leave at 2:30. So we know the grub truck closes, and we know that the largest viewing on the grub truck is at 3:30 that morning. Now notice how Joe's quadrant is now very blurry, like maybe they put another screen on top of him, and he mentions, oh, blur me out. And they don't want to compete. It wasn't beat. He says we don't want to compete. But all the people, remember, people have gotten alerts on their phones and they're over huddled watching this as Joe is watching it on his phone.
Was it best? Alice and Natalie, you absolutely do. All right. You can just follow the globe. We'll meet halfway between where we are and there. All right. Already have to before you do. I just saw your salsa. You guys ready for it? It's good. They're out shots. We don't know it's him. TJ. Never. We're just talking about everything. Was that? No. No. Can you wipe off the real please? Thanks very much. Hashtag chaos. No chaos.
Fantastic job entertaining me at work tonight.
So that was a little weird that they say, oh, by the way, the Wonder Oven Pro is on sale. Okay, so that is a little odd that he did say that at the end of the stream when they said, good job entertaining us tonight. So we know for a fact, and this was part of the rumor that somebody keeps commenting on my YouTube channel, we know that that's partly not some alleged, I think it was a UFC fight, and I'll bring up the date, November 13th, 2022, because it wasn't at the right time. So they were saying that this fight was, let me pull it up again. Hold on. UFC fight. I can't remember what they said the name of it was. Asanya versus Piera. And this fight occurred here. I'll show you this. That was another rumor. That no, they were streaming this fight at that time, which, you know, I don't think so. Why would somebody put thanks for entertaining me tonight when they could have watched this somewhere else, right? This fight. Why would the grub truck be streaming a fight? So it was Saturday night, and it says it was at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be 3 p.m. in that time zone in Moscow. So it was pay-per-view. ESPN held it. It was at Madison Square Garden in New York. And how in the world would they be streaming it? Or why in the world would they be streaming it at that time at night? Doesn't make sense to me. Does it make sense to anyone else? I don't know why. There's a recap in Sports Illustrated. It talks about the fight. It talks about the time frames. He was TKO'd. It was 7-1. And, you know, it's obviously all over the internet. You can go see. There was the fight. It was nowhere around that time. So if they were perhaps sharing that fight, maybe that's what the charge was for. I don't know. But it does not make sense logically that that fight was being streamed that night at that time. So if somebody gave them a $40 donation by Uncle Taco, basically says, well, thank you so much for the, $40 to go have beers or whatever, it would make no sense that they would not be streaming something that where somebody in the background sounds like they screamed Ethan and Xana at the same time. Those names do not sound very close to Ethan and Xana. I mean, Israel, Asanya, and Alex Peria, it doesn't sound like Xana, and it doesn't sound like Ethan. So, how about any fights about did they have that day? That was the only fight that I saw that day. Only fight. So, has there been any conclusion on, oh my God, other screams that heard? There's tons of them. There's tons of them. I've got a whole list of screams on the Linda Lane. You can line up the footage. The lining up the footage is very simple because the grub truck was real time. Then Joe even says it's 2:06. He says we close at 2:30. You can line that up. That is the actual real timeline. The timeline I have is at 1:51. Maddie and Kaylee get into the grub truck. They leave the grub truck in the Uber, and at 1:56, around that time frame, they do get home. And at 1:58, the grub truck video, you see that people get alerts on the video as if they're streaming perhaps, and then everybody gets the notice that something else is happening around the same time. Remember, just because one thing is happening in one location, there can be similar or not similar, there can be simultaneously something happening in another place where you can line those two events up. So, and then at 2:06 exactly, Hayden and Joe leave the grub truck. They leave that area. And then at 2:42 on Linda Lane, there are screams that say, "Help me," very loud and clear. So that timeline is so messed up because you can hear it very clearly. The screams, "No, help me," at 2:42 on Linda Lane. Have you guys ever heard that? So the timeline is between 1:56 and 2:40, 2:51. So there could have been a 301 call for help, okay, in regards to a 911 call. So these are just crazy rumors. Now, this is something odd that I seen in the forensic documents, and I'm going to read an email real quick. DM told, this was one of the rumors emails that I got. DM told someone that in March 2025, when she came to Las Vegas went camping, that BF and her got back to the house from the hotel that BF's parents were at. There were 7 Moscow PD LE officers involved in staging the bodies. They think they might have not gone to a hotel. Now, I don't know who these people are sending me this stuff. They are unknown, okay? And I can go and show you Linda Lane. Do you guys want to watch Linda Lane? Just go to Linda Lane Archives on YouTube, and you can go right here. I'll show you. I've got 242 on Linda Lane Audio 242. Hold on, let me grab it. And whoever put up these archives, and I'll show you something else real quick because I want you guys to understand how important this is. And it's not just me saying it. I think a lot of people have been saying it. I've been saying it a long time. If you look at these Linda Lane archives, it's under Linda Lane Archives. They don't tell us what happened after 3:30. My timeline says something massively happened after 3:30, and they don't show us. They don't show us the timeline because I think that's when this really happened. So 2:42, according to my notes, 2:42:28. So let's go to 2:42:20. 2:40. Volume up as high as you can. 2:42. If you have earphones on, here it comes. There it goes. So, I mean, you can go to Linda Lane and you can go and, you can go and listen to these. It's quite disturbing what you hear. It's quite disturbing that most of these times have been changed or manipulated, scrubbed, dubbed, however you want to say it. But I believe that is the timeline. Now, you want to see something really odd in the forensic documents. This is a document that was redacted, but y'all, if you are looking at this, hold your phone back. If you are at your computer or your laptop, stand back for 1 second. Do you see what's on this blank piece of paper? I find the oddest stuff all the time. All the time. Can anybody see what I see if you stand back a little bit from your screen? Absolutely, Amanda. There is a handprint. That is my outline of the handprint that's there. Okay. Now, remember, the same handprint Bertie and I have talked about. When I saw that, I told him immediately, that handprint that was left on that turkey drawing. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving. That handprint, let me see if I've still got was on that same Hyundai Elantra. Does anybody remember that handprint? That handprint was on the window also in the 1122 King Road. The same handprint. Okay. So those two same handprint, I think, I don't know if Bertie has that video. I'm sure he does. Let me see if Bertie has it up. Because I think I may have, let me see. We were on the same live and we were talking about the handprint. Hold on. Same handprint that was on the car was on, let me see. He overlays it. Here it is. Here it is. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Here we go. Freaking odd that this print would be there.
The handprint that was on the white Elantra that crashed 7.5 hours away from Moscow in Eugene, Oregon, and the handprint that was seen on the King Road house on the living room window by the Good Vibe sign, I overlaid them and I put a filter on the one that had the handprint with the Good Vibe sign so that it was like yellow and neon. Watch it play through a couple of times. The fingers line up. The palm impression lines up, where the thumb would be lines up. And sometimes I question, how is it that people on the internet are finding shit like this? Whether or not it's actually like a clue, how is this not something? Is this Kohberger's handprint? Whose handprint is this? Whose Elantra is that? Why is there a handprint there and crashed and the plates are taken off that Elantra? Like, have they ever compared it? Everyone's talking about DNA and fingerprints and all this other stuff like that. There could be touch DNA on that. Dude, it's the same handprint.
It is. Look at this. How freaking odd is that? Okay. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's Brian Kohberger's. It's Brian. You know what? If you look at the top of this document, he signs off on this print. Y'all, right up there. That's his. I cannot make this shit up. He signs his name right there, Brian C. Kohberger. Right at the top of this handprint, folks. Do you see that? Was it a document that has a handprint on it? Yeah, this was in the forensic files. And let me see if I can remember. Let me see if I have the actual page. I don't think I saved the page. Hold on. That's the one that I drew over. So I'd have to look back, but it is in the forensic document. I 100% believe that is the Elantra they needed. That Elantra in the MPD documents that I found, it was actually registered to Jesse James and Candace Bailey. Okay. That was the one that was found in Oregon. That was the one that was in the accident. So I don't know what to think, right? We hear all these rumors, we see all this evidence, we see documents. I am just dumbfounded every time I find something new, and I'm thinking, holy crap, is this Peeps getting taken? Critic Rick, where have you been? I'm glad to see you back. Yes, indeed, some have been disappearing. I've been watching from afar. I don't know why they're disappearing. It's weird. Convenient, I agree, Jill. Convenient how that car was found 8 hours away and the 911 call was made 8 hours later. I agree. I agree. Now, remember, we are not kicking anybody out. You can have your difference of opinion, but if you come in and troll, we will definitely show you the door. We're not here timed or banned out in chat. Now, nobody has timed you out. I've not seen anything on my end. The only time you're going to get taken out or taken down is if you're trolling. And we love you, Critic Rick. You are always welcome here. So was there any association with that vehicle with the handprint? In my humble opinion, yeah, it is connected. And that was MPD's description of that car that could have been registered to Jesse James Bailey and Candace. Remember, Candace was the former Department of Corrections officer and married Jesse James Bailey, and they got taken down by the feds. So, was this possibly something more? Absolutely. There were a lot of people involved in trafficking. There were a lot of professional district attorneys brought in, special prosecutors, for their background is trafficking. Their background was drugs, taking down the cartel. So could this be an overlapping? Absolutely. Could the frats have been protecting these individuals and got injured? Possibly. But why would they stage a crime scene and clean up and yada yada yada, do all that other stuff? It doesn't make sense. So there are a lot of rumors, lots of rumors in this whole entire scenario. So the rest of the email I was sent said the FBI guy who talked to Sammy Jude. Okay, now FBI just doesn't talk to anybody, guys. Okay, said they were unalived outside except Kaylee. She didn't die until 7 a.m. if she's dead, and it was a drug overdose. Now, I don't know how true these emails are that people send me. I am just taking everything with a grain of salt. If there's no solid proof, it's a rumor. It's a rumor, or someone is making up all these rumors to have you believe it is not pointing to the frats. But when you start looking at videos that have been released, like interviews, and they're not actually interrogating these folks that were the closest to them, when the FBI knows that the closest people who probably did this can be acquaintances or friends or family, well, most of the family was not close in location. Most of the friends were all around them. I've brought you facts that individuals lived right beside them when thinking they lived somewhere else. And that's causing a little stir out there because of the factual information. Now, you know, then this email went on to say the FBI guy said Xana and Ethan were essayed by a cop. Now, that is a little far fetched. Okay. When I say that, you don't know. We can't prove that. So, why do people go around saying this stuff when they have no proof? It's stupid. I mean, my mama always taught me, and my grandmother and my grandfather and all my aunts and uncles taught me, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Now, when it comes to this, if you have no facts and evidence, don't say anything at all, as it makes you look pretty stupid that you don't know what you're talking about. Now, had proof came back that there was, sexual assault, that would be a different story. Okay? But we don't see that. And then they're accusing people that someone took $700,000 and took all their organs and all this other stuff. We have no proof of that. So why go around telling people that? Okay? I don't know who was removed. Nobody was removed in here. Okay? So it's just crazy that people are going around saying all these rumors when you can't provide truth. But I will tell you something, a snarky person. I was just curious. I find that a little odd. First timer and stuff on YT. Yeah, I haven't seen anybody coming in and doing that. So let me say this. It's interesting that you put a video up or you share other people's videos that are hearing different things, that see different things. And all of a sudden, now you're the bad guy. And I love Booking with B. I absolutely love her content. And I have to give her credit for this. She made a video this morning. I feel the same way. We've talked before. We've bounced some ideas off of each other. We've shared information. And she made a video. And I'm going to show it because I feel the same exact sentiment when it comes to this. And if you don't know me, I won't back down. If I know I have evidence and facts and something may help Brian Kohberger, then so be it. But if you don't like it, that's on you, not me.
Into it. Okay, I'm just hopping on to make this quick video because I just wanted to let everyone know I won't stop. Okay, I will not stop. I don't believe that the 4 people have gotten justice for this. I don't think that this crime has been fully solved. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care what you write about me. I don't care what videos you make about me, what comments you leave about me, what you tag me in. Does not matter. It will not affect me. It will not bring me down. None of those things will happen. I don't care what these college students were involved in, whether that be X work, whether that be OF, whether that be dealing, whether that be any of those things. None of that matters to me. I don't care what they were doing. They did not deserve what happened to them. Okay. So no matter what theories are floating around or rumors that they could have been doing this or they could have been doing that, it does not matter. They did not deserve what happened to them. I don't believe justice has been served. Until I do believe justice has been served, I will keep making my videos and I will keep talking about my opinions on the release of the information that we're getting. I don't care what anybody thinks. I think that this is embarrassing. And I think that anybody that does not care about this and is coming on here to use this case to belittle and bully other creators is also embarrassing. I am not bullying the surviving roommates. However, I am treating them as suspects, which should have been done from the beginning. From jump, they've been treated as suspects. So if you have a problem with me treating the surviving roommates as suspects, this is not the page for you. This is not the content for you. I will keep fighting and I will keep pushing and I will keep spreading as much as I can spread, because I will use my voice for as much as I can use it for. And I have a platform that I can use that, so I will. Again, if you have a problem with that or if that ruins your day, you should probably just stay off my page. So catch you later. Let's dive into it.
I absolutely enjoy watching her content. She talks about logical things. She talks about ethical things. There is so much that is questionable.
Can you believe this?
Now, I shared a publicly sourced, you can go and look for yourself, of the John Rogers Showalter, his family, Larry, and so on. And I got so much backlash. So I don't know, it was because that I shared it, because it was out there publicly. I don't know if anybody has looked into this before, but the oldest 1, 2, next 3, and then 4, and the one circled, I believe, is, per the article, Jack. So with all of that said, I did share this on the YT. I've shared a couple of videos that have been copyright striked and trying to get me to lose my YouTube account, which that ain't going to happen because I will fight every single video that you tag for copyright. And I will expose you. I will share your information that's public. And I will, in fact, share more information that could be, unfortunately, still public. So you really don't want to mess with me. Don't mess with vets. Don't F with vets. Because we're just out here looking at a case that does not make sense to the average logical, critical thinker. And if you're upset, that's your issue. We're not out to get anybody. We are just seeking justice for people who have been factually, innocently framed. Or perhaps if you do have solid proof that he is 100% guilty, please share that now. Because we, the people, would love to see it. Don't forget, Justice for All. You can see all the documents, all the pictures, all the photos, all the forensics, all the hearings, all the court documents, everything your heart desires in this case. This case should have went to trial. This case should have removed the death penalty. I'm telling you, folks, something isn't right. You know the drill. Be well. And that is the public document where this was found. Now, a lot of people said, oh, a simple Google search. Not a lot of people have shared this. It's been up there since 2015. And, you know, I always cite my sources. You can go to Justice for All, take a look at everything that's there. There might be stuff there that no one's ever seen or heard about before, but the repository that we've put together is pretty intense. I need to update it this weekend too. So that is David S. Irwin that shared that photography in Texas. And remember, we just find public information. So if they're upset that we are sharing truth, we are not sharing any rumors. We don't go for that here. We are looking at factual information. So there has been, and Booking with B is not AI. She is a real person and she is amazing. And Okie dokie Lisa, Brian is talking about TikTok. And yes, Amber Vance and Booking with B just recently came over to YouTube. So definitely those are two to follow too. Amber Vance is really good at what she does. It's happened to me over on the TikTok that people were reporting my videos for a long time. And I made the switch over here to YouTube. It's a little bit better. But obviously YouTube is being real censored about what we share over there. I know it's entertainment. This is categorized as entertainment and education because we are educating you on a real case and giving you factual information. And some people don't like that because it's common critical sense. And I am not some conspiracy theorist. I am a conspiracy realist. I will go out there and find the real stuff. And again, don't uck with veterans. Don't do it. I'm telling you, just don't do it. Anyone with a little common sense would be realizing something is off. And that is intuitive, right? Just a tiny bit. Something's not right here. Something is not right. But remember, some people don't see everything what we have been looking for. And let me give you an example, okay? somebody that I know personally, when I was looking for a new car, they took me to a car lot. They took me to about 7 car lots. They had me drive and test drive at least 12 cars. And then this individual gave me a pamphlet of the car that they thought I should buy and put it on the edge of my nightstand. And about 3 weeks later, I said, okay, I'm going to go buy this specific car that they gave me the pamphlet on my nightstand. It was almost as if they knew something that I was already leaning towards, and then they mind effed me because they knew that I would pick this car. Okay. So it's kind of like once something's off and then you start searching for it, you find it. Okay. I don't do Discord, not interested in Discord. But that is something that when you start seeking something, you find it. It's kind of like when you're driving and you're saying, oh, I need to find, something to eat, and then you pull over because 50 miles later you're like, okay, there's a Wendy's, I'll just have Wendy's, but that's not really what you wanted. And then you drive about 10 more miles and all of a sudden you see 50 McDonald's or 50 Jack in the Boxes, and that's what you really wanted. It's kind of like something like that. Okay. So I want to leave you with this today. We found some interesting finds in the forensic documents. I have a lot more to come, but I saw this the other day, and if you think you're ever having a bad day, watch this video. It has no sound, but look at this POV. When you check when the check engine light finally showed you why it was glowing like that. Okay, number one, if you think you're having a bad day, this guy's day is really bad. And the worst part is that he's parked at a gas station while the car is on fire. So FYI, a little PSA, if your car ever starts to smoke like that, don't pull into a gas pump at the station. Okay, go to a firehouse if you can, or stop somewhere that may have a fire extinguisher. Now, I wanted to touch on this before we go today. AI is cute. Watch.
Grandma, open the door. It's cold. Your daughter won't feed me. I love Grandma. Grandma, your little daughter is here. Open the door. It's cold outside. Grandma, open the door. I'll give you a kiss.
Okay. So AI is so cute. I mean, most of it is very entertaining, but I want to give you just a real quick rundown here. I saw something a few days ago. I've had it in my intuition for a while. I have felt this in my heart for the last 2-3 years. And once you actually hear it, now you know what we have been facing for the last couple of years. This AI technology can be fun and entertaining, but it also can be a very dangerous thing. When you see NVIDIA, remember, I spent 20 years in technology. When you see NVIDIA go through just break the glass ceiling, break the stock market and their earnings, and you know that everything is going to need a chip, you know that AI is going to be the future, you know that a couple of people have had a jump, now big people with money are now investing in AI, then you know our society could possibly be, in my humble opinion, in some type of deep trouble. Now, when I say that, and when I saw this video that I'm going to share with you next, you're going to probably understand why AI could be so freaking dangerous. I've had this feeling for a while. It won't let me add this to the stage. I don't know why.
Technology is changing the art of war. Predictably, AI will alter war more profoundly than any technology since nuclear weapons. The most significant change will be speed. Speed in weaponry, decision-making, detection, attack, and defense.
Now, keep in mind, The first lady was in Camp Lejeune, and she was talking about technology and AI. Then they have some Marines come up on the stage. They're given awards, but I want you to tune in to what she says after that.
Artificial intelligence will take center stage in the theater of war. It already plays a meaningful role on the battlefield. Of course, it is the Marine who will always play the most critical role in realizing mission success. Before I continue, I would like to take a moment to welcome to the stage two outstanding Marines who are being recognized for their service. Sergeant Blake Donner, the 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit Warrior of the Month, and Corporal Marie Cannon, the Marine Medium Tiltrader Shurdon 365 NCO of the quarter. Marine Corps Air Station New River serves as a leading site for aviation, seamlessly combining state-of-the-art aircraft training and response capabilities on the coast of the United States, a vital asset for America's security. Technology is at the core of New River and will guide its evolution. Artificial intelligence is propelling America's military into a new era. We are moving from human operators to human overseers fast. The shift from soldiers to machines is already underway. Autonomous helicopters, swarming drones, and recon aircraft are here now. Fighter-less jets and autonomous bombers are on the way. To win the AI war, we must train our next generation, for it's America's students who will lead the Marine Corps in the future. Lejeune High School demonstrated today that it's ready to lead. Its mission: educate, engage, and empower each student to succeed in a dynamic world, is more than a slogan. The school's ecosystem of educators, administrators, parents, and students is poised to drive innovation for America. They have fully embraced the Presidential Artificial Intelligence Challenge, showcasing creativity and technical vision for the future of AI. Their dedication to learning and their commitment to our country is inspiring. The Lejeune and the New River community impressed me today. Military families are the quiet strength of our nation. Your love, patience, and courage give our service members the confidence to serve with honor and the comfort of knowing home is always waiting.
So she's talking about in Camp Lejeune, obviously they released an official press release, but she's talking about the New River High School and what they've done to implement AI technology in the school there and what's coming in the future. But did you know, this was the press release that they shared from the White House, but did you know that there are schools, colleges that are already training in how to real time create military training materials for AI. It is out there. It is being trained in high schools. There's programs, curriculum, and that is basically what they're pushing for the next generation to learn how to oversee AI and how it's going to be used in the battlefield. Now, keep in mind, I already believe, although I've not been able to prove, I already believe that AI has crossed that threshold in other countries. But we've just been busy. We're not paying attention. Absolutely correct, Les. We're busy with our lives trying to pay bills, inflation, economy, put food on the table for our families. But if we don't pay attention, just like in the IDAHO4 case, you're never going to see it coming. So, as always, I ask you to question the unthinkable. And I'm going to leave you with this.
Innocent. Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking, the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
And as long as they keep sharing public documents and information, we will continue hearing, we will continue sharing. And if it ruffles your feathers, if it doesn't sit you, if it doesn't suit you, or you don't feel that we are doing it ethically, then that may be your issue. We're just sharing public knowledge here. And I'm your host, Phoenix. Drop a lot of love in this chat. Keep in mind, Tuesday at 7 p.m., I'll be with Bertie on my channel, and we'll do a joint YouTube together. So until tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, when I bring you some more documents, hopefully we'll see some new document drops this week. And this week's theme is going to be Thanksgiving. Give a lot of love on the way out, folks. Be well.
Listen close, we rise up from the ashes, digging for the truth, breaking old habits. We marching with the nesters, they laid the foundation, passed down revelation, sparked our motivation. In a world of facades, we peeling back the layers. Truth, the weapon that cuts through all the fakers. Phonets in our chest, reborn from deception. Eyes wide open, no room for misdirection. Every step we take, we honor the connection between past and present in our resurrection. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently. We'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. We cultivate vision, planting seeds of awareness, challenge the narrative, break out of the harness, digging deep for knowledge, unearthing the hidden. Our minds are the soil where the future is written, no longer confined by the scripts they prescribe. We write our own story, let the real one subscribe. One voice becomes many, together we rally. Freedom's not a concept, it's a move and a tally. By case, we break the cage. thought by thought will shift the stage. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently. We'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case. Again. Again. Rise up, speak out, watch the new world breathe.